Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Anthony with the Wrenched Out Experiment. Thank you for tuning in. And today we got something pretty cool we're going to be talking about, and that is trying different setups. So over the last few Wrenched Out Experiment videos, you may or may not have noticed that, I shot kind of freehanded in my garage, and then I did my big camera lighting setup here in the office, and now I'm back using the Canon 80D with the 24mm lens, and I'm running with my podcaster USB mic. So a couple of critical things, and the reason I'm doing this setup, there is actual reasons behind it, because I'm going to start setting up some of my normal videos, and I need to start and continue different kinds of setups to see what works and what doesn't work. This is one setup I've been super interested in trying to get kind of the biggest bang for my buck, or trying to figure out what looks best. So that's why we're doing it here today. And the reason why is there's a lot of stuff I want to share with you guys via the computer. Now, truth be told, I have been using this setup in a different fashion for the Wrenched Out Garage, because I've started a weekly news thing there where I wanted to use the mic because the audio sounds a lot better going directly into the microphone. And then I'm going through video stuff there, but that's all set up completely different than here in my garage. So what I am using though is the Rode Procaster mic. It looks like this. It's on this little weighted arm here, which does okay. So if you guys are looking at a microphone setup like this, and I'll do a full review on this microphone. If you are looking at something like this and you got a heavy mic, this is a fairly heavy mic, but I think it does great sound. Once you go to extend this, I was thinking there was enough weight on it. The whole arm tips. So you got to find that sweet spot in between if you're using this setup. So another reason, let me move that back. Probably some noise there. I don't know. We'll see how well the shock mount worked. Another thing you'll notice on here is this shock mount, which is a Rode shock mount. So if you look at this, and hopefully it's not picking up noise. I'm looking at my software here, and it was picking up very little noise. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this setup. Now, the other reason why I wanted to do this setup was to be able to show you guys, like I said, some footage on the computer. Also, because I use this USB mic, I'm going to be doing a new setup here in the office with a different microphone and a whole different setup. I'm going to be able to share that with you guys as well once I do that. But I need to get comfortable with this because I run this setup or will be running this setup regularly on the Wrenched Out Garage. In fact, I'm going to set this whole thing up, hopefully semi-permanently down in my garage, so I can start utilizing this on a normal basis and make it super simple, just like this angle. And there's a couple of other angles I want to try differently. But with that being said, enough of me kind of going on a bird walk as far as that goes. We're going to dive into a couple of different microphones. On the top of this camera here, we have the Rode Mic Pro, which I use all the time when I use my 80D. To the left of me, you guys can't see it, I have another microphone and a handful of others. So we're going to be diving into some of those as well if you're interested, or if you're going to use it. And I run different setups for the 80D, for the AX100, for my GoPros. So I've got a lot to cover as far as that goes, which is still pretty cool. I am liking this setup. I do want to shift it around a little bit. I think this angle, I obviously could have chosen any angle I wanted, but I wanted to do this one because it's got me square right onto the footage. One of the things you will see here in the near future as I make some changes, I'm going to be using a USB mic for in the office with a mixing board, and then it'll be on a swing arm. So hopefully I'll be able to better utilize it. This little guy right here is more affordable in some senses than those swing arms. But we'll dive into that in a later video. Now, talking about using this mic and other mics, one thing I'm going to go into detail on is setting up a podcast and podcasting. Now, here's the reason why I want to do it, because myself and a good buddy of mine are on a podcast called Culture Jacked. I'll put the link to that down below. You may or may not have seen a response video I put out for that, which is just a funny thing me and Dustin were doing. But doing the podcast stuff, man, you really learn a lot about your speech and your grammar and the way you talk and the way you interact with someone, and what an experience. But I'll save that for a whole episode in itself. As far as the tools that I've found, I'll talk about some of the tools that Dustin uses as well, but we'll walk you through setting up a podcast, what mic, and the best way to do, at least for two people, because I'm more familiar with that than anything else. That, I think, is going to wrap us up. What do you guys think of this setup? Do you guys have a tip or an idea? Obviously, there's some shadows thrown here. My light right in front of me, the juice is dying on it. Obviously, as you mess with lighting, you can see shadows move. And it goes for me too as being as well lit up. So we're going to talk about that stuff. I'm going to show you some examples and some things that I do. And if you guys have tips or tricks or questions, drop them below, because I'm super interested in seeing what you guys, and if you guys have a setup for this as well, hey, drop a link to what your setup is. If you're a YouTuber or somebody that uses Facebook or Instagram and has a similar setup, I'm genuinely interested. So let's wrap it up there, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is, I don't know what I want to call this video yet, but we've got a lot of other really excited things to include reviews and talking through some of the things I talked about in this video, and so much more coming at you guys from the Rented Out Experiment in 2019. So make sure and join us here by hitting subscribe down below. If you have a comment, drop a comment. I'm pretty good at getting back to you if you guys have questions or really anything. So I appreciate you guys checking out this video. And until the next video, you guys take care and